That's according to the pledge of allegiance. Okay, the next item is roll call.
All board members are present this evening.
Okay. The agenda. Thought we had it together, but I guess we got to make some changes to it. I think the first change that I'd like to do is the land sale on Woodside Drive. Make that new business item C. If you look at the lettering, there's a 2 A's, it should be A and then B.
New item, new business item C.
New business item C. Then there's a presentation by Lieutenant Snyder that we'll put in under the presentation, number 7. There's also an introduction I'd like to make for a firefighter. We can put in under 7, I guess, as well. And what else do we have? Anything else? And then there's a correction in the minutes. That are,
we can do that when we consent agenda.
Okay, all right.
You didn't know anything about the concrete?
Yeah. I don't know where to put that one. I guess we just put it in there on the new business D. Yeah, it turns out the dollars per yard that I was quoted earlier in the year is nowhere near.
You said there's a D already.
Where's the D in new business? So the PowerPoint presentation for fire department budget.
That was last week.
You're at the wrong minutes.
Yeah, you're at the minutes. Hey, good job.
All right, so with those changes, so land sale C, increase in cement costs for tennis court and basketball court is D. And presentation for Lieutenant Snyder and for firefighter.
All right.
So, motion to approve.
I would move to approve the agenda with corrections or with additions.
Support. Been moved and supported. Vote please.
Mr. Howe.
Howe votes yes.
Mrs. Cooper.
Cooper, yes.
Mrs. Frederick, yes. Clerk Flowers votes yes. Mr. Salvio.
Salvio, yes.
Mrs. Lewis, yes. Mr. Hamel.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, so number 5, consent agenda approval.
So this is where we have a correction to the minutes at the top of page 7 in the packet. Has the wrong date on the header of the minutes. It says August 8 and it should be September 26.
I would move to approve the consent agenda with corrections.
Support. Moved and supported. Vote please.
Mrs. Cooper.
Cooper, yes.
Mrs. Frederick, yes. Clerk Flowers votes yes. Mr. Salvio.
Salvio, yes.
Mrs. Lewis, yes. Mr. Howe.
Mr. Howe votes yes.
Mr. Hamel.
Hamel, yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, the next item is announcements and information. There's a health fair October 10th, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at fire station number 1. Farmers market. This will be the last weekend for the market. Are you going to extend it?
Up.
She's shaking her head no.
Yeah, she can't hear.
Would you turn that off, Chief? The furnace is on.
He's texting.
What do you guys shut
Turn it on. Oh,
all right.
I thought he was texting someone.
I sure hope our new town hall doesn't have the same problem. All right, farmers market.
Yeah.
Last weekend.
It's this Saturday.
That's from 9 to 1. Okay, the Highland Garden Club speaker the Milkweed Community More Than Monarchs is October 10th at the Station House. Doors open from 6:30 with a $5 fee. Second week of October is Fire Prevention Week. Item E, pancake breakfast is October 16th from 9 a.m. to noon at Fire Station 1. And then Veteran Day ceremony on the 11th, I guess it's one on the 10th here, but will be from 9 a.m. to noon at brief ceremony at 11 a.m. at the Highland Memorial Park, and all veterans are invited to attend recognition ceremonies at Milford High School, Kurtz Elementary, Muir Middle School, Oak Valley Middle School, and Lakeland High School. That's on the 10th, 11th, 14th, and 15th, depending on the school. And another thing that I'd like to bring up at this time is that our former Fire Chief Jim Crunk passed away last week, and there will be services for him Sunday, I believe it is, at Lynch in Milford. And I don't have the times for that right now, but 12 to 3. And you know, I think that this is a time when we should give a man a minute of silence. Right, I think that Jim passed too early, to say the least. He did a lot for our community. He ran a tough bunch of firefighters, and really appreciate everything he did for this community. And I think he's an outstanding individual.
Question. Was he in the service? Was he military? Anybody know? No.
So on that note, sad note, we'll move forward. Okay, the first thing I'd like, presentation wise, I'd like to do is, if we go back a few months, some of you might have the memory that our current fire chief was planning on moving on to his next steps. And as a consequence, we determined that we needed to find a path for the next generation of fire chief. And so we put out a call to the in-house firefighters, because we want to keep it in-house. We think it's time. We think that the team we've got is strong and good enough to, built well enough to be able to move from there. And so we put out a call for applicants, and John Pratt was one, and Nick George was the other. And so Tammy, Brian, and I, and the chief had a
no, Jenny.
Jenny, that's what I say, Jenny.
I said
The other
Brian.
Tammy.
No, Brian was there.
Brian, Jenny. Pardon me. I spent a few hours getting infusions today, and we don't need to go into that, but they knock you out to do it. So anyways, as a result, our team chose the next candidate for fire chief when our current chief finds that path to move on. And I'd like to introduce him at this time. Nick, would you come up? Nick George, bring Tammy. And Sam, would you come up too, please?
She's like, you said I didn't have to come up.
So this is Sam and Nick George, and I think that this is important because we only know him as having a significant other who's a dog. And Nick, thank you very much.
No, thank you.
Thanks.
Sam, thank you.
Congratulations.
Nice to meet you.
It's great.
Nice to meet you, Sam.
Well,
Yeah.
We've got the timer on.
no.
You have 3 minutes. Yes, sir.
You can have 10.
Yes, sir.
All right, so
So you've got to hold them out.
thank you very much. I appreciate it. Now, as you may also know, the chief was planning on moving on and that didn't happen. And it all happened in the midst of this choosing a new person for that position. So it puts it in an interesting light. We're in the process of trying to figure out how to make that transition, have a title or whatever you want to call it. But in any event, we've chosen the next fire chief for Highland Township and it's official. So we want you to be happy here. And I think that, I don't know, it's going to require a move possibly. You don't have to if you want to drive forever, but we'll be looking forward to hopefully having your family here and being a part of Highland in the near future. So Chief, would you like to?
I'd like to just say a few things. I'd like to thank the board for the opportunity to sit in on the process. We really have built something amazing here. Just over the past few years, and the adjustments we've had to make internally for emergency services for the community. This is a great process and how we're doing it. It gives me time as I search for the next chapter of my life. Not that I'm unhappy here. It's been an amazing community and I never plan on leaving until at least my son graduates from high school and going on. So, but anyways, this gives me the opportunity over the next however long until I find the next chapter to kind of get him in path and get him into the process of assuming the role as we move on. So thank you for this opportunity. This will be a much better transition moving forward. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, the next presentation, Lieutenant Snyder, do you want to?
This will be simple. This is my budget. I'm Lieutenant Matt Snyder. I'm the commander here at the Highland substation. I'll tell you a little bit about what you contract for services. Here in Highland, we have 19 deputies. And when I say 19, that means all of us that are sheriff office employees and one part-time office manager. I have 4 deputies on each shift, midnights, afternoons, and day shift. We have a swing shift deputy who works 7 p.m. to 3 a.m. And we have a dedicated waymaster position out here. We also have a patrol sergeant that works afternoons, myself, and 2 patrol investigators, which are detectives. So going through this budget, I also want to let the board know that in 2000, our substation handled 11,864 calls per service. And last year in 2021, our substation handled 15,660 calls per service. This is an increase of about 32%, give or take. Part of my budget is also a request to add another deputy to our substation to bring it to 20. Do you guys have the budget?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, on the screen, you can see the first top section is the revenues. A lot of these numbers I get from the township treasurer, and I just plug them in. You can see the revenue from taxes is $3,076,641. The next line, you'll see our liquor license fees we get from the state. I pretty much just carried that over from the previous year. It could vary a little bit, but I budgeted for 10,000. The other 2 line items, I don't have anything in. Mini contract budgeted 12,000. School, and if you got any questions about anything, please let me know. Many contracts, we've done these in the past. We've done them for Cornerstone Church. We've had subdivisions in our community that request extra patrol. When you do a mini contract, a subdivision can't just come to me and do a mini contract. They have to go through the actual township. So the town, it goes through the township. And then the township has the agreement with the sheriff's office. School participation. The school pays pretty much about 75% of a deputy position to be in the schools. So that's 111,000. American Aggregates, part of their permitting license, I believe, is they participate in paying for my weighmaster position. That's 162,000. And then interest, again, this is information I get from the treasurer. So the total for revenue is 3,386,641. Now the expense. First one is my part-time clerical position. Budgeted 34,000. And that's with me proposing a 4% increase for that position. My office manager, her name is Marcy. She's a retired county employee that had over 30 years with the sheriff's office, was a hitting role. She's worked, you know, as her last role was she was in our fugitive apprehension team, doing all the background checks. That's also part of our special investigations unit. So she came over with a lot of experience, and for that amount of money, we're getting a big bang for that amount of money. The payroll employer tax, 2,900. Our disaster recovery fee is standard from year to year with 5,000. The actual contract for the sheriff's office, I have budgeted 2,912,998, and that number is including my request for the additional deputy. School resource officer is the 111,000 that's carried over from the school. Mini contract again carried over 12,000. Overtime, that's a large number, but it's 220,000. That's factoring in increases from, you know, wages, contracts, labor contracts being ratified year to year, their wages go up. I can, believe it or not, just the one holiday, you know, it could be a $40,000 bill just in overtime. You know, because they did double time and a half. You know, if they work their day off on a holiday, it's triple time. You know, these are expenses that aren't figured into the contract, so I have to do a separate line item for overtime. I don't have any Highland Township employee retired, so that's a zero line item. I pay for utilities at the building. I budgeted 14,000. Sheriff maintenance 13,500. My lease for the substation building 28,000. I have a miscellaneous line item for whatever odd things may come up throughout the year. I also budgeted 1,000 for reserve equipment. We utilize our reserves. We have about 100 reserves in our agency, and they help supplement our department for special events. They are required to give us 100 hours a year to be a reserve, 50 hours special events, and then they can take 50 hours and ride with the deputy. They're typically assigned to substations based on where they live. They do the same training that we do. You know, as far as qualifying to firearms and service training, so they're pretty qualified. Equipment cap outlay, I budgeted 6,000, and then building renovation, I budgeted 4,000.
That's a big drop.
Yeah, that's just in case. I mean, we spent a lot on this, but the total for my expense 3,369,398. It's under budget. The most important thing is I just wanted to let you know about our increased call volume. We're busy. We get busier every year. And it's one of those things. My staffing, how we do it. There's different ways to contract with the sheriff's office, and how we do it out here in Highland, it's called a no-fill. which means I have to come up with a minimum staffing number. And it's 2, my minimum staffing is 2 per shift. There could be more, but my minimum is 2. I can't go under that. I can't have 1 deputy working on it. And so with that, you know, comes the these guys get overworked. It's only 2 maybe working. They're busier with the call volume I just showed. You know, they have opportunities to leave if they want. And I got great guys here. A lot of them live close to the community. A lot of them live in the community. A lot of them have been here a long time. They do a career. Ken Hiller, been here a long time. Detectives are a special assignment, 5-year assignment in and out. But we've had guys here do 20+ years. I've been here. I started my time in '99 on afternoon shift. I got promoted in '07. Did a few years outside, you know, in the jail when I got promoted, but I came back in 2010 and been back since. I love the community. I've been here a long time. That's kind of what I want with the deputies to, you know, even though you're contracting for our services, it's like they're your police department and you get to know these guys. And if we take care of our employees, they'll take care of us. So
I have a question.
absolutely.
So to add a deputy, do we have to have a contract come from Oakland County?
So
Or do you
again, that
know?
we're in the middle of a 3-year patrol services contract. We would have to amend the contract.
Okay,
So what the county would need, the sheriff's department would need, is a resolution for that by the township. I would give it to our chief financial person. They would amend the contract, and then it has to go through the process of the board of commissioners at the county level.
okay.
So what we can do is we can, when we approve the budget, that will approve the amount that includes that individual, plus do a resolution at the same time.
Right.
That'd be the best way to do that, or?
If they're gonna require a resolution, then yeah, they would accept meeting minutes, then you can make 2 separate motions.
They always ask for a specific resolution.
And you know, I can always verify that. I can call them.
Well, we need to prove that we're willing to have you spend the additional money first.
Right.
And then so that would be the budget at that point. And then we can do a resolution to bring it on, make it official. So.
That's all I have, unless you got questions.
No.
Oh, thank you very much.
Okay.
As I always do, when I moved here, I didn't realize, I thought everybody had a deputy substation in their communities. I didn't realize how it worked when I first moved here. I came here in '99, same time you did, basically, and we're blessed. I mean, we are really, guys are good guys, and we really are. And you guys do a great job, and I value our friendship, and I think I really appreciate what you do for us, and I feel very safe.
We do see.
You are our police department. That's why I feel. I thought everybody had them anyway, so
Appreciate it.
No, it's good.
I don't know the exact year. I don't know the history. Roscoe will probably know that better than I. I think we've been doing it a long time. Haven't we all here? 60s? About that. Oh,
Yeah.
As long as I can remember.
Well, thanks, man.
yeah. You're welcome.
Anthony,
Thank you very much.
you're phenomenal to work with. You're a phone button away, and every time something comes up, I can get a hold of you immediately, and it doesn't seem to matter whether you're up in the UP looking for a car or what. You know, I can get a hold of you. So, and
That's
that's
the last time.
When you're diving.
so.
I'm done. I turned that in.
Yeah, you did. This was last year.
I did the diving for 21 years.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't know. It's just time to pass it on to the next generation. I thought 21 years was enough. So
Well, keep your head above.
they wanted me to hang out for this summer. I did one more trip up.
Good job on that too.
Time for him to keep his head above water.
That's right.
All right, the next item is Main Street Oakland County accreditation for the Highland DDA, and here to do that is Tim Colbeck from Main Street, Oakland.
Thank you. So every year we go through this process, and I always say this, but I mean it. This is one of my more enjoyable things that I get to do. I get to come out and talk about how great a job the communities are doing. This is the 11th consecutive year that you've received the accreditation, so that's kind of a big deal. You know, those of you who sat through those meetings, there's these 10 categories, and you go through them all. And, you know, do you have an adequate budget? Do you have paid staff? Are you taking advantage of training? Everyone's doing their job really well here. The volunteers, the staff, the board. This is a well-oiled machine working right now. And when we did the evaluation, you get little points. You didn't have less than a 9 on any of the 10 categories. So, you know, out of a 1 to 10 scale. So that's a good indicator that things are going very well here. And there's a lot of notes in there. I was just, because I went out and reading it again the day of the evaluation. And it does say, you know, there's all these things that we would like to see you do. And it's not because you're coming up short. It's because you've done so much. Then this is the next thing you want to do. So all that being said, it brings me great pride to be able to hand this over again this year for your accreditation.
I don't want to block anybody.
Okay, why don't you guys move over this way a little bit?
Okay.
Okay, now face that TV over there.
She's gonna take a picture.
Yeah, just well, so the group, the people at home can see you.
We need.
Yeah, come on up. And we need to say that township participation.
Yes.
This is wonderful. Okay, good.
Perfect.
Okay.
All right, so I want to say something at this point.
The TV on, it's.
We gotta rotate.
Okay.
I can see all your faces.
Thank you, Nancy. Oh, thank you.
Tim, thank you.
11 years, that's amazing. And today, Zach has started the mural on the side of odds and ends.
Right.
It looks like graffiti, but it will soon be a piece of art. God.
So one of the things that I want to say about the DDA is that it is part of the reason that I ran for township supervisor was because I felt that it wasn't in a position where it should have been, which is a team player with the township board itself. And so after I was elected, we were able to really realize the asset that a DDA is to a community. And with Missy and Cassie Blasek, and I really want to give a shout out to Cassie because she's taken on the kind of role as a volunteer, and she does get some stipend for some additional work that she does. But generally, you'll have a supervisor by law on the DDA. Rarely do you have 2 board members on the DDA, and we have Jennifer has taken on that position. She's really stepping up and kind of pushing things along and helping. So it's the show is a total asset to the community, and I think it pays off. I mean, the farmers market, it
was amazing this year.
Music in the park and how that's grown, and I mean, we get people from all over now coming because the concerts are too crowded in Milford, or they like the choice of the bands, and those sound like things that are. How does that make the community better? It makes it better because you bring the community in and they get to see what you've done. The streetscapes, managing the plantings and stuff, and another total shout out to Cassie because she's the driver in this. The plantings at the Four Corners 2 years in a row are phenomenal. And I think the pattern is set that we know what we need to make this place look awesome. And the farmers market, we're moving that to the corner. Killers did the job, so kudos to you guys for doing that and for putting up with me teasing you all the time, Missy. So, but, and also the support from Oakland County. Tim used to be Missy at one time. He used to be the DDA director prior to Missy, so he knows this place intimately as well. And I think our community has really come a long ways because of the downtown.
I have to give a compliment back because I'm sitting there looking at the board. And each and every one of you, you know, have really supported us, board members, in one way or another throughout the years. Brian Howell's on the committee for concerts. Beth Lewis used to be a board member. She went on to bigger and better things. Tammy and Flowers and I worked very closely with the festivals, the fall festival. So, and then Joe Salvia to help Founders Day. So
I just found out about that.
I did. Yeah. So I have to give the compliment back. And Judy, oh wow. Garden Club. She was on our ER committee on the great job, which now Jenny is leading and took the baton. Yeah.
The exposure to the farmers market.
Now she's retired. She thinks she's now retired.
I play now.
So my ask is, Tim, that you go back and you talk to your teammates there and you tell them how much we appreciate the support that we get from them so that they know that how important it is to us. And you got a great team you get to work with. I think they kind of do things the way I tend to. They jump off the bridge first, knowing that they're going to hit something and accomplish things, but in the end, it's always for the best. And I really appreciate the way they do stuff. So you do things. So
Well, I appreciate hearing that.
all right. So anybody have any comments they'd like to make?
No, farmers market is a good location. Lots of people
It's a
see it.
great location.
So,
I think all the public facing stuff is super cool. And I know that it requires a lot of stuff, a lot of work that we don't see, and all that stuff is important too. But I really like the public facing stuff. That's,
And you guys got new banners in today? Well, maybe just equipment, but banners coming any day.
we're adding new banners to the south side of the district.
Not on DTE.
All right. So, and I think we're pretty close. The DDA is pretty close to
Oh, yeah.
finalizing their payment on their loan from the township to make that streetscape work. And I think
One
that's
more year.
makes a big statement. And
Mhm.
I think that it's the right way to have worked. I think we all work together very well.
And one more thing, we're looking at renewing the TIF too, and that'll be coming up in the next 2 years. So they'll be in front of the board.
All right. Thank you. Okay, next item is public comment. We got any public that wants to comment?
No selfies in the audience.
There's your public comment. Selfies in the audience. All right, if there's no public comment, then we'll move on to new business. First item is A. Use requiring special approval 22-01 prime time self-storage. And I gotta pull that up.
So reading the minutes, it sounds like it's just a portion of the property that did not get zoned C3. So in C3, it's allowed use. In C2, it's a special use requiring, or use requiring special approval.
So this is down on M59.
Yeah, where they put the new car wash.
Yep.
So behind that.
So a couple of years ago, there was a planning commission was tasked with looking at a new classification called C3, which would open the door for some different types of, I would say, non-invasive or non-obnoxious businesses, and also for some that could be obnoxious in terms of off, like motocross track or something for motorcycles. Not having any particular spot in mind, but having that available. And so what happened is this property was in that proposed district. And what happens is M59 has 5 acres, and then it's stacked next to another 5 acres behind it that's basically landlocked, owned by the same owners. And the thing that the planning commission has done is allowed for the use of deep back lots, if you want to call it that, or deep lots where you can get some effective use with limited things. So that's where it turns out that seems to be a prime place to be able to put storage facilities. So I don't know why, but Highland seems to be a hot spot for storage facilities, and there's not a single one that isn't maxed out. They build them, they're full. Build another one, it's full. So as much as sometimes you don't want to look at these things, part of having them in a back lot is so that it keeps them off the main drag. And
that's because every house has a garage, instead of cars, it's full of stuff.
and then you have to have place for your other stuff.
Some people don't have basements.
Rule is something in, something out.
Oh, that's a septic.
Okay, so site plan's already been, so I'll read this memorandum so that everybody understands it. The planning commission's meeting September 15th, 2022. They recommended approval of a special land use permit for a proposed self-storage facility that will occupy property south of the natural gas pipeline and new Shimmer car wash, which is directly across from LaFontaine's and next to the pond place. Self-storage is a use permitted by right on most of the site, which is zone C3, low impact commercial. But one corner of the most northern building lies on a parcel zoned C2, general commercial. Special land use approval is required for self-storage at the corner of one building. There was no public comment. The site plan has already been approved, subject to your approval, that's us, of the special land use and the combination of the two parcels into a single ownership. So just as a reminder, due to a recent ordinance change, the board is no longer required to conduct a public hearing, but the board is required to accept any public comment that might be offered in relationship to this request. So I would say at this point, if there's somebody here that has a comment about this rezoning, this would be the time to make it. I don't see anybody. So.
Is that you?
Yeah, my name is Dan LeClaire. I'm with Green Tech Engineering. I'm here representing your self-storage facility.
Okay.
Kindly request your approval.
Thank you. I appreciate your coming forward. That was a lot easier than the last time we brought this up. I thought I was going to get hung.
I have a question.
Yes.
Mr. Smith, is the Shimmer car wash open? Do you know?
It's not open.
Not open.
Like one part.
Oh, okay.
Waiting and waiting.
It's a Comcast to take care of.
Oh,
Finally,
no, fire station?
no, for the car wash.
Oh, they're waiting for it too. So it's fire station too.
Did they get
Is
the computer software stuff fixed?
I'm sorry.
They had some problems with their computer software, just getting having things working automatically. But that was just an internal thing.
Dale Figley, one of the family members that owns it, he has not said anything about that to me.
No, I
I
They're
think
waiting on Comcast.
and it's waiting on one part. So, all right. So,
So I can make a motion.
yeah,
Let's see. Move to approve the special land use. Oh, a special land use approval for self-storage at the corner of one building. Use requiring special approval 2201 prime time self-storage vacant West Highland 1130-200-042.
Support Sylvia.
it moves and supported.
Did you say, the combining of the parcels too?
I don't know that
Okay, so subject to your approval of the special land use and the combination of the two parcels. Does that mean?
So at the office, they'll come in and fill out one
That's,
form.
okay. So we're not approving the combination.
I don't think.
No, we don't have to.
Just, okay, with the way sentence.
Yeah, no, I saw that earlier, yeah.
Okay,
All right.
all right.
Any other questions? It's so moved and seconded. Poll please.
Mrs. Frederick,
Yes.
Craig Flowers votes yes. Mr. Salvia,
Salvia, yes.
Mrs. Lewis,
Yes.
Mr. Howe,
Mr. Hall votes yes.
Mrs. Cooper,
Cooper, yes.
Mr. Hamel,
Hamel, yes.
motion carries.
Okay, next item is a letter of understanding for the 2023 wage agreements for IAFF and MAFF labor groups with the Highland Township Fire Department. Wages were negotiated in good faith, and they'd like the board to approve and allow the township supervisor to sign the agreements. So we have see if I can put this up here. I don't know if we need to put it up there or not.
5% wage increase effective January 2022. Well, it says 2022. Oh. New reopener on the issue.
So if you guys have eagle eyes, there's the agreement. So after all the whereas.
Yes, you're right, Judy. Number one.
This is essentially, this is a 1-year amendment. Is that right, Chief?
Yes, both contracts were negotiated with the intention of opening it up for each of the 3 years.
Right.
Of the duration.
So this is for the 3rd year. And so the parties have agreed, if we agree to it, the parties have agreed. The salary schedule attached as attachment A is incorporated into the parties 2021, 2023 agreement. Specific wages set forth in the schedule reflect a 5% across the board wage increase effective January 1, 2023. All other terms of the 2021-2023 agreement shall remain in effect unless mutually agreed to otherwise in writing at a later date through December 31st, 2023, and will be subject to negotiations on a successor agreement. So that's pretty much the
Motion.
that is the gist of it. I guess the motion would be to approve the supervisor to sign the letter of agreement. I'll make the motion, but I can't. I'm the supervisor.
I'll make the motion to allow the supervisor to sign the agreement as specified.
Support, Lewis.
Okay, move to support it. Any questions, anybody?
We doing them separate? Are we just doing them all together?
Is it 2 contracts?
Yeah,
It's
there's
two
together.
there's 2 letters of understanding. One for
There's
each.
2 letters, you're just authorizing the supervisor to sign the letters with the bargaining groups for the negotiated wages.
Okay, so we should probably amend that motion to include both letters of agreement for the supervisor to sign letter of agreement for MAFF and one for what was the other one? IAFF. Is that approval?
Joe made the motion.
I approve the amended motion. Yes.
Okay, then-
And Beth
Yes,
supported.
support from.
okay. All right, does that sound better, Lisa? You're frowning.
I was just looking for the other letter.
It's not in there.
It's just well, it's the,
This is the same
yeah, it is
for the other
letter.
one. This is MA.
IAFF.
Motion really good.
But the letter is the exact same, but for.
For the other one.
No, it's the second letter includes the full-time salary schedule.
Hamilton to the
So it's the next sheet with the chart.
It's page 70 in the packet.
so there's attachment A. That's for the MAFF.
Yes.
And then this is for the IAF.
Yeah,
Are you seeing them on yours?
I'm seeing them, but I only saw one letter
right.
of understanding.
There was only one letter with the language, and the other one was just adopting the pay scale based on a 5% pay increase.
So that should be a separate motion then.
Do we need a letter for them? For the IAFF, or can we just approve this pay
You
scale?
can approve the pay scale, it's already in the budget.
All right, I'll make the motion then. Oh, we gotta finish this one.
So, yeah, so this first motion will just be to approve the letter of understanding. For that amendment.
And before you vote, Judy has a question.
I have a question on the second one and I.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so let's
Okay.
vote on this one.
Okay, vote please.
Clerk Flowers votes yes. Mr. Salvia.
Oh, yeah, yes.
Mrs. Lewis.
Lewis, yes.
Mr. Howe.
Mr. Howell votes yes.
Mrs. Cooper.
Cooper, yes.
Mrs. Frederick.
Frederick, yes.
Mr. Hamlin.
Hamel, yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, so the second one, I'll go ahead and make a motion that we approve the 2023 full-time salary schedule as presented for the IAFF, but professional firefighters. And the request is to allow the township supervisor to sign the document.
Cooper support.
Okay, discussion?
I just had a question on, so. This is just level in the 6 month and the starting 6 month and top pay is. It's paid to the individual post like a tier. Okay.
So if we hire a brand new firefighter, we start on starting wages every 6 months.
Okay, I just want to make sure I understood it right. Thank you.
All right, any other question? Vote please.
All right, Mr. Salvia.
Salvia, yes.
Mrs. Lewis.
Lewis, yes.
Mr. Howe.
Mr. Howell votes yes.
Mrs. Cooper.
Cooper, yes.
Mrs. Frederick.
Frederick, yes.
Clerk Flowers votes yes. Mr. Hamel.
Hamel, yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, the next item C is land sale on Woodside Drive. I don't think we need a motion for anything.
So what has happened is that we purchased property from Oakland County, foreclosed vacant property on Woodside. And in doing this, we knew that the septic for the house to the north was on our property. So we've been working with them to try to have them purchase the property and combine them so that their septic is never separate again. They owed back taxes and they paid those today, and they paid summer taxes up to date on that property. So now we would like to sell it to them, and Lisa has provided us with a real estate purchase and sale agreement. And I would like to present that to them, but I'm working on the cost. So my questions were, we had a certain cost already that we've spent on attorney fees. And how much more do you think we'll spend? Like how many more hours? So you'll have to review, finalize the purchase and sale agreement. Then probably create a deed, which I have one from the county that'll be easy to use theirs. And then maybe go to the closing.
Closings are usually done. You don't have to go.
Oh, you don't have to go anywhere anymore.
Zoom.
I can't imagine it would be more than a couple hours.
Okay, we're just trying to get all the fees into the price.
Into the purchase price.
Purchase
Right.
price, yes. And then at closing, the title company would work that out with them, whatever cost it was. Okay,
Yeah.
in addition to what we are asking.
Is there a cost to do the combination of the parcels?
$15.
Oh.
So we'll put that in our purchase price or our sale price.
So at this point, we need
And
to
then we'll
go
just-
through the process. I don't know. Do we
The
need, we
closing
probably
fee should
need
just
a
be
motion to,
I
Yes.
would show my age right now, but I don't remember much of what we did. I feel like we did a resolution already that you passed that authorized you.
to
To
purchase,
purchase the
actually for
property.
that purpose. is what we did.
Yes.
Okay, and so then you would then need a resolution to sell it. And an attachment to that resolution would actually be the purchase agreement that we've settled on.
Okay. All right,
And
so
it would
that,
be an authorization for you to sign whatever documents you need to sign to sell the property and close on the property.
okay,
And then you'd be done as far as coming back to the township board.
okay, so we'll do that at the next meeting.
The budget meeting.
Oh, is that okay?
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll get all those. The reason we brought it up tonight was because Judy was part of this thing back when you
I
were
was gonna
treasurer.
say, this
This is a parcel belonged to
Wonder, I'm going, where?
You have your.
a woman who somehow didn't realize she hadn't paid for a parcel, the taxes on this exact same parcel. Judy caught it. We got it back to her so she didn't have to lose it. And it made her aware of it. So, but the thing was, she was supposed to combine. She didn't do that. She passed away. Parcel
Yes.
B, the one that we've purchased on foreclosure, the family apparently didn't realize that they owned it or whatever, but they didn't pay the taxes. It went to foreclosure. Somebody else bought the house. And it turns out the septic field's on that parcel. So what needs to happen is either they need to move their septic field, which could be significantly expensive. And I believe that they probably bought in good faith that they had what they were supposed to have. So the board agreed that we would purchase the parcel in order to make it whole again, so that somebody didn't have to go through that excess baggage of moving a septic field. And but part of the conditions are it has to be combined before the sale is complete. They'll have to combine it, but they won't receive the final deed until that's done. So that's easy thing to do in our office. So next board meeting, we will our budget workshop will get the paperwork together.
I'm trying to find the resolution because we may have drafted it to accomplish both, but I don't remember.
I'll look it up.
We'll find that.
Yeah. You guys did draft after the fact, you drafted a purchase sale agreement too.
I do remember.
Yeah.
All right. Next item is D. Last week, actually, it's hard to believe it was a week ago, at our budget workshop, the board had approved, and I'm taking this out of the minutes for the last board meeting, September 28th. We approved to have K&R Concrete do the labor for putting 3 to 5 inches on top of the tennis court and the basketball court. And then I requested the board authorize the supervisor to be able to purchase the concrete in an amount not to exceed 30,000. Well, it turns out that the numbers that I had earlier in the spring, of course, are and I'm going to put some pressure on Joe here to help with this.
Is that an Italian thing?
Yeah, Joe's going to get Don to work with him. So what happens is we needed about $42,000 as opposed to 30,000. So the price per cubic yard is $150 unless we can get Milford Ready Mix, who
was that your original quote from them? The 30
right,
it was his man.
Somebody else.
Yeah, the math was my math was not wrong. It's just the price of the cement.
It wasn't a quote, it was just your math.
Right.
Okay.
So my math has been corrected by a reality slap that says, hey, Rick, it's 150. Oh, man. Anyways, we need to get the job done. So
if we do,
we're still under the budgeted amount of 90,000 to make those repairs.
still saving lots of money.
Okay. But so Joe and I will try and work with the Ready Mix company to see if we can get some favorable access. But I need the approval to modify the amount from 30 to 42.
I would move to increase the approval for concrete purchase for the basketball and tennis courts to not to exceed 42,000.
Support.
Is that going to cover?
Yeah,
that's why I was looking at you. I said,
yeah, I've done the math a bunch of times now.
Whoa,
Jenny and Tammy check you.
No, I will not. I will not say that.
So, okay, moved and supported. Any other questions on that? All right, I thank you for your tolerance and my math error.
It was a hard decision. You guys are missing this.
Oh my God, Joe, that's what's up.
Well, we're firm.
Okay.
Concrete.
He's a cement guy, you know what I mean? They all wear boots.
I mean,
Ready to go.
Mrs. Lewis. Yes. Mr. Howe.
Votes yes.
Mrs. Cooper.
Yes.
Mrs. Frederick.
Frederick, yes.
Clerk Flowers votes yes. Mr. Salvia. Mr. Hamel.
Hamel, yes.
Motion carries.
It wouldn't be the same, just.
Okay. Number 10. This meeting's adjourned.
I was gonna say, what do you mean number 10?
Thank you, everybody, for sitting in on this thing.
Yeah.
Good.